Hello Neighbour Show for this Monday, the 18th of May 2026. Welcome to Hello Neighbour Politics right here on the Politics Plus network. Of course, we're hoping to be joined later on by Harry and Scratchy and our wonderful callers. Please remember to tap the screen and share the live if you're on TikTok, and if you're on YouTube, the Hello Neighbor podcast, like and share and subscribe. Of course, we appreciate your super chats, and if those come in, we'll read them throughout the show. In terms of what is happening in Jamaica, the shooting in Montego Bay is of concern. Many Jamaicans are aghast at that unfortunate shooting in Montego Bay. We urge caution as we look towards the institutions that have been set up to investigate these matters. I was not there. I can't pronounce on it. I have to wait on the investigation to come out. But based on what we have seen so far, there are concerns. Of course, there were rumors today that taximen were going to be striking. That did not materialize. The Minister Vaz is saying that on the 1st of June, the matter of taxi fare hike will be brought to cabinet. And I want to prepare the people of Jamaica, because I doubt whether or not we're going to be able to avoid a fare increase. Is either the government gives the fare increase, or the government is prepared to subsidize the fare increase. But in either case, the taximen are not going to be able to bear the cost of fuel, which is additional cost to them. And we have to understand that taximen are businessmen. When you purchase a taxi, a Pro Box or an AD wagon or a NARA, and you are into taxi, it's a business you're doing. You have to pay back the bank. There is wear and tear on your vehicle, and you have to absorb the increasing cost of fuel. I mean, I went to a certain spot in Jamaica a couple of days ago, and it used to cost me $2,000 gas, and it is now costing me for that same trip almost $3,000. That's an increase of almost 25%. And I think that the people of Jamaica ought to brace for an increase in taxi fares. Now, that is going to affect people's disposable income, and there may also be an impact on inflation. I think the government itself is absorbing a lot of cost to the JUTC, right? But we want to appeal to the taxi men to hold strain until June 1st. And as the minister said, you may have to take it in increments. So you may not be able to get the full increase same time. But if you are prepared to accept it in increments, we'll appreciate that. Neighbor, your network not good? Is it that my network is not good? Sorry, is Caroline, are you hearing me? Or maybe Green Tea, are you sure that it is me or you? Listeners, am I breaking up? Tell me.
You're good, neighbor. On my side, you're streaming perfectly.
Okay, you are fine for me hearing your neighbor. Okay, so I'm here. Okay, it's not me, my network not good, Green Tea. And remember, you can't say me not good, because you yeah, Green Tea, check your network. It may be you. All right, so the People's National Party, they had a press conference today, another press conference, and we're going to discuss that a little bit later. But it appears as if the People's National Party continues to oppose with press conferences. And we'll get into a little bit of that later on. On the political spotlight tonight, the growing debate around the opposition's political purpose, opposition or obstruction. This opposition seems to have moved from being an opposition to an obstruction. Pull your camera to your right some more. Pull my camera to my right. That's it? That's it? Okay. Am I good now? Good evening, neighbor, Caroline, and all neighbor rights family. All right. So we will get into some of those issues later on. There is a dangerous silence growing beneath the noise of Jamaican politics, And that silence is born not from peace, but from disappointment. Moderator, please, if callers are there, I'll take them. And increasingly, that disappointment settles at the feet of Mark Golding. Before I get any further into that, the opposition spokes, not opposition, the government's communications.
My fellow Jamaicans,
I think he's the chairman or he's the deputy chairman, Mr. Marlon Morgan, responded today with this. Let's listen to Mr. Morgan.
My fellow Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica, the government of Jamaica understands and readily appreciates that in the absence of pertinent facts and appropriate context, stakeholders, especially those who donated to our Support Jamaica Hurricane Melissa Relief platform, may be inclined to view with concern or unease the Auditor General's finding that it was $26 million or 1.8% of the 1.4 billion Jamaican dollars received in donations that had been spent up to February 2026. Facts and context matter. Jamaica is in a new era of managing and accounting for public funds. This is in keeping with the financial instructions of 2017, which replaced the previous instructions of 1977. The 1.4 billion Jamaican dollars received in Hurricane Melissa donations could not have been used willy-nilly, And as such, Jamaica's Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management often needed to embark upon processes to ensure that the donated funds could be used and accounted for in accordance with budgetary rules, including the 2017 financial instructions pursuant to the Financial Administration and Audit Act. We operate in an environment where there is genuine skepticism on the part of some people, as well as those who, for politically contrived reasons, tend to foment distrust and exploit by being cynical. Separate and apart from the bureaucratic processes governing use of the Hurricane Melissa donations, the government of Jamaica decided to use the donated funds on tangible and demonstrably evident initiatives that deliver lasting value to beneficiaries. Of the 1.4 billion Jamaican dollars received in Hurricane Melissa donations, $240 million is being spent to support the government of Jamaica directed roof repair program. This is
okay. So you would appreciate that the Auditor General report is generating a lot of attention, and there is a lot of spin surrounding it. It is important that Mr. Morgan and the Jamaica Labour Party continue to speak on this matter, because the opposition is being disingenuous. And I dare say the opposition is lying on this matter. They might tell lie. And I believe that the opposition's misleading of Jamaicans need to be called out. It's very important that there be a strong push to unveil what is truth in these matters. I want you to listen to the leader of the opposition, Mr. Obstructionist Golden. You know, can someone tell me one idea that Obstructionist Golden have put on the table since Hurricane Melissa? Obstructionist Golden and his gang continue to put forward a false narrative that needs to be challenged. Listen to Obstructionist Golden.
Greetings, Jamaica. Today, I want to say a few words about this condition of the country and this Auditor General report, which I've just had the chance to read, to do the Hurricane Melissa Relief Initiative audit. And you know, coming out of Hurricane Melissa, traveling.
Before I go any further, you see the poor people of this country. You see the people who are vulnerable, the people who depend on others to get information. Sometimes I feel sorry for them. Sometimes I feel sorry for the Jamaican people that listen to Mr. Golden. And you know, Mr. Golden is a wealthy man. And it would be instructive to find out from Mr. Golding, how many people have you helped, Mr. Golding, since the hurricane? How much of your personal wealth have you contributed to the suffering Jamaicans that you talk about? It was a matter of scandal when the People's National Party came out to reveal how much money they collected in their Melissa donated funds. But you don't hear anybody talking about that. They are harping on the 1.4 billion that the government collected, and not $1 of that money is stolen. Not $1. The government can account for every single dollar. What about the opposition's money that they collect? Listen to him.
To St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, parts of Trelawney, and you see the level of devastation to people's lives, how it set people back, how much loss they incurred, how much they are suffering. And I think to myself, why is the government doing more? We got all this help from overseas, from foreign governments, from international donor organizations, shipping materials, shipping food and other relief to the country. And for the first couple of months, that was being distributed until people moved on. But the suffering is still there. I remember Minister Grange asking me to be part of the telethon to encourage people to donate to the relief effort. And I said, well, Jamaica needs the help, I'm going to do it. So when I read this report saying that as at February 23rd, 2026, 5 months after the hurricane hit, ODPEM, which is the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, received a total of $1.44 billion in cash money donated for Hurricane Melissa, comprising $473.4 million Jamaican and $6.1 million US dollars, which is 963 million Jamaican dollars, from the Support Jamaica initiative and direct donations. And they had only used 26 million Jamaican dollars, less than 2%, to spend on the people who are suffering.
That's a lie. That is not true. And you see, Mark Golding is deceptive. It is not true. Not true. I don't know if you heard about, you used to read Shakespeare? You used to read Shakespeare? Shakespeare, you see, spoke of lies, damn lies, and statistics. Statistics and audits do not tell the story. It is not true that the government only spent, listen to it again,
and they had only used 26 million Jamaican dollars, less than 2%, to spend on the people who are suffering.
The people who are suffering, the government spent $1 billion buying care packages for them. Mr. Golding don't tell the people that. The man here Golding, you see? Golding and his gang. Golding don't tell them that, you know. The people who are suffering, the government spent $1 billion. $1 billion is $1,000 million on care packages alone. If the government had only spent $24 million, people would have dead in a thousands in Jamaica. Golding is deceptive. And people need to understand that it is not true. It's not the full story. That's a fraction of the story that is being told. And that is how I want the party to present these facts to the people of Jamaica. This emotional hype that somehow the government got $1.4 billion and don't spend it on suffering people is a deceptive way to carry the story. It is a deceptive way, Mr. Golding. You're being deceptive, sir. I don't know if it top it, man. I don't know if it top treat poor people like that. Because you can't tell Harry Henriquez that. You can't tell Scratchy that. You couldn't tell that to Caroline, nor Sheffrey. You can make video I talk about that government only spent that. The government spent $67 billion already. $67 billion. Put it up there for me, moderator. $67 billion have been spent, not 24 million. Top the line, man. You know, there needs to be a massive pushback against Golding and his gang. Let us listen to Mr. Marlon Morgan explaining the government's position. Let me play it from my end, moderator. Just keep him up on screen there for me. Keep up Mr. Morgan on screen, and let me play the government. Let me play the government's response. You heard Mr. Golding? You heard Mr. Golding? Listen to Mr. Morgan.
This is the program under which the Jamaica Defense Force and foreign military partners carry out the repair of people's damaged roof. This is separate and apart from the cash grant related roofs program. Additionally, $600 million is being used to build bases for the...
You hear that? It's not 24 million the government spend, Mr. Golding. How much? Wheel it up back up for me.
Program. Additionally, $600 million is being used to build bases.
You hear that? 600 million is being used to build bases, not 24. Out of the $1.4 billion, 600 million them are using build base. They put on house for 30 years. For 30 years. More than 30 years. Some of the people over in Westmoreland, constituencies represented in parliament by the People's National Party. The people them were living on stilts. Pass on a little piece of wood. They weren't living anywhere. And the government is using $600 million to build base, to put on still, to put people house, and you come telling the people them that only 24 million spend. It is not true. Now, the Auditor General did not pick that up. So why are you relying on the Auditor General's report rather than relying on the facts? The Auditor General report is the crutch the crutch that the PNP is using to stand on. You set of hypocrites. You crutch is a crutch. It has provided you political fodder. You and Mr. Robinson.
Asking everyone to repost the live, please. Tap the screen and share it, please.
Damn lie. And statistics. Don't tell the full story. Listen to Mr. Morgan outlining to you Golden's lie.
For the modular housing solutions for the people whose dwellings have been destroyed. In tandem with that, $560 million of the donated funds has been committed to additional hurricane minister-related recovery efforts.
You hear that? I want you to listen again to the man over from the other side. Listen again to him. And that him say, listen to this man.
Jamaica initiative and direct donations, and they had only used 26 million Jamaican dollars, less than 2%.
That's your opposition leader. That is the opposition leader. I want to play him again. I want to play him again. Because a long time, they might tell me that man, you not speak truth. And that's not how you lead, Mr. Golden. You don't use the Auditor General report as a crutch to mislead people. The report is a real-time audit. And therefore, since the report was done, many things would have happened. You have to take that into account, Mr. Golden. If you did an audit yesterday, the audit is virtually irrelevant 1 week after that because it's a moving target. And I hear them talk about protests. Is that true? Is it true that the PNP is planning protests? Because it couldn't be true. Mr. Golden knows better.
Jamaican dollars from the support Jamaica initiative and direct donations, and they had only used 26 million Jamaican dollars, less than 2%.
And that was in February, sir. You can count March, April, May. 3 months after that. That's what that the report. That the report is of no moment today. Listen to Mr. Morgan telling you about how the funds are being used.
Their program. This is the program under which the Jamaica Defense Force and foreign military partners carry out the repair of people's damaged roof. This is separate and apart from the cash grant related roofs program. Additionally, $600 million is being used to build bases for the modular housing solution.
$600,000 I use build base. Then how Mr. Golden come tell the people and say what $24 million spent? Using the auditor as a crutch to stand on. Is that leadership, man? Listen to me, guys. This Miss PNP propaganda, it is foolishness. It is foolishness.
Solutions for the people whose dwellings have been destroyed. In tandem with that, $560 million of the donated funds has been committed to additional hurricane minister-related recovery efforts. If the government did not go about using the funds in this manner, its detractors could easily argue, then get a whole heap of money in donations and we not see what them do with it. That cannot be credibly argued in this case, however, as we have repaired roofs to show and will have concrete bases and other infrastructure and expenditure associated with the installation of modular housing solutions to point to and show you, the donors, what your money would have been used to do. For further context, it should be noted that from the government's resources, the government...
All right, so basically, all the money that the government collect, they use it up. Almost all of it. And the leader of the opposition is putting out video this morning. Say under $22 million spent out of it in a February. That no dishonesty, man. That no wickedness, man. I'm so angry. I'm angry. Someone is lying to us. And it's not Mr. Morgan. I want you to listen again to Mr. Morgan because I think it is important.
Distrust and exploit by being cynical. Separate and apart from the bureaucratic processes governing use of the Hurricane Melissa donations, the government of Jamaica decided to use the donated funds on tangible and demonstrably evident initiatives.
You see that? The government took the decision to use the resources on tangible and demonstrable useful initiatives. The government decides, said, it's not going to give the people them the money just like that, as Golding and his gang would have done. They were going to use it in a demonstrable and effective way. Every dollar of it. Not $22 million, as Mr. Golding is suggesting. Who do you believe? Who do you believe? Here is how the government used the money. Listen.
That deliver lasting value to beneficiaries. Of the 1.4 billion...
That deliver lasting value. Not like run with it or Operation Pride. Lasting value. So the people who donated the funds, the government is assuring them that their investment into the people of Jamaica will be lasting, will be valuable. So this argument about donors being disappointed and donors are concerned is rubbish. Rubbish. The government is using it to build bases, to put on people's roof. Why? Because in addition to the $1.4 billion donated, which is a drop in the bucket, by the way, we thank the people who gave it, but it really is a drop in the bucket. Because care packages alone cost the government $1 billion. The government's roof program cost them $10 billion. Is what Golding and him gang are talking about.
And Jamaican dollars received in Hurricane Melissa donations. $240 million is being spent to support the government of Jamaica directed roof repair.
So $240 million on the roof program.
This is the program under which the Jamaica Defense Force and foreign military partners carry out the repair of people's damaged roof. This is separate and apart from the cash grant related roofs program.
Type that in for me, moderator. 240 on roofs program. Make we add it up. 240 on the roof program. Just type that in for me. And make we add it up. Put down that for me. 240 million on the roofs program. All right, so that's 240 million. All right, let's check with the senator. $240 million. Okay, what else?
Additionally, $600 million is being used to build bases.
And then them spend 600 plus 600 million to build base. That are 840 million gone out already. Out of the 1.4, They use 240 to put on roof, and then them spend 600,000 to put on base, so that them can put on the modular houses on the base and take off the people them off of the dirt. The government is taking people off of dirt and I put them on base. My God. And that the money I use for. So we gone at 840 million minister, senator. What else you do with the money?
For the modular housing solutions for the people whose dwellings have been destroyed. In tandem with that, $560 million of the donated funds has been committed to additional hurricane minister related.
And then they spend 560 million. That are the money. That are 1.4. 1,400,000,000. Money done. 200, 600, and 560. The money done. The government has acted responsibly. It has been able to account for the money. And Mr. Golden today said this. You heard the senator just outline how the money is spent. And Mr. Golden,
preparedness and emergency management, received a total of $1.44 billion in cash money donated for Hurricane Melissa, comprising $473.4 million Jamaican and $6.1 million US dollars, which is 963 million Jamaican dollars, from the Support Jamaica initiative and direct donations. And they had only used 26 million Jamaican dollars, less than 2%.
That's what we have in Jamaica for an opposition leader. That's what we have. Boy, it brings tears. It brings tears to my eye. I tell you the truth. It brings tears. It brings tears to my eye. I tell you the truth. I don't know. What a disappointed. Boy, I tell you, I wish I could is Harry here? I wish I could just take a break now and go on my bed. Because it is so sad. I'm sorry for the country. My God. My God. I can't believe that I live in a country where the opposition leader this morning so blatantly mislead the people of Jamaica, and he doesn't get called out for it. Where is the media in Jamaica? Nationwide? I thought they said you were top journalist over there. We don't see that. Where is Mr. Hughes and George Davis? Where is Dion Jackson Miller? Where is CVM? This is a disgrace. The opposition leader should resign. The opposition leader has disqualified himself. He's not qualified anymore to be opposition leader. This is a lie. A man who stands up and misleads his people like this should tender his resignation. The government should call on the opposition leader to withdraw this video and apologize. It is not true. Mr. Morgan, please, sir, ask the opposition leader to retract this. Retract it, because if what you said is true in your video, then Mr. Golden has committed a breach of trust. It's a breach of trust. Because many people believe him. And I don't blame the Auditor General. The Auditor General is doing a real-time audit in February. We're now in the month of May. Today is the 18th of May. Moderator, put it back up on the screen for me. What the 1.4 billion dollars was used for.
Asking everyone to repost the live.
And then
tap
is
the screen,
investigating
share the live.
Police shooting. The police. Right? This is what you should be focused on, NNN. The opposition leader is misleading the country. 600 million to build bases for houses. 516 million additional Hurricane Melissa work. Yes? And 240 on replacing roof with JDF partners. How much money that? 1,400,000,000,000 dollars. This is a serious matter. Listen to the opposition leader again if you think that this is a joke.
Comprising $473.4 million Jamaican and $6.1 million US dollars, which is 963 million Jamaican dollars, from the Support Jamaica initiative and direct donations. And they had only used 26 million Jamaican dollars, less than 2%, to spend on the people who are suffering. That is an act of gross dereliction of duty of the government.
It is not an act of gross dereliction of duty on the part of the government, Mr. Golding. It's an act of gross dereliction of duty on your part. Not to have inquired of the Office of Disaster and Emergency Preparation about an update of the funds used to date before you went and put that statement up. It's a dereliction of duty on the part of the opposition, not on the part of the government. It's you need to go do your job. Do your job. As Kemi being or I told the labor, do your job. It's lazy or no lazy because the information was there. And I'm sure that the opposition leader could get the information, but he never wanted it. He never wanted it because guess what? They have to score political points. You have to score political points, Mr. Golding. You have to go in for your party and your points because you are a tribalist. And you are only interested in misleading. But I am calling on as many people tonight to ask the government of Jamaica, to ask Mr. Golding to withdraw that statement. Or if he refuses to withdraw that statement, he should resign as opposition leader. He has disqualified himself by virtue of this nonsense that he put out. You can't play with people's lives like that. And go on to talk about dereliction of duty. Let's finish Mr. Morgan's statement.
Recovery efforts. If the government did not go about using the funds in this manner, its detractors could easily argue, then get a whole heap of money in donations and we not see where them do with it. That cannot be credibly argued in this case, however, as we have repaired roofs to show and will have concrete bases and other infrastructure and expenditure associated with the installation of modular housing solutions to point to and show you, the donors, what your money would have been used to do. For further context, it should be noted that from the government's resources, the government is spending 67 billion Jamaican dollars on Hurricane Melissa relief and recovery initiatives. The donated $1.4 billion amounts to some 2% of the $67 billion.
You heard that? You heard that? The money Mr. Golding is talking about is 2%. How much percent? 2. How much percent? 2. What a wickedness in Jamaica. What a wickedness in Jamaica, sir. Jesus, son of David, have mercy upon me. No, sir. No, man. We want some prayer mamas and some prayer papas. Jamaica under bondage. Jamaica is under bondage, man. We need deliverance. Deliverance in Jamaica. 2%. The money that the people donated, the 1.4 billion. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you this. And this may be controversial. We appreciate the donors. We do. We'll appreciate those people who gave money. But it's chump change. It is chump change, as Bobby Picasgill would say. And I'm not discounting the gifts of the people. It's 2%. You think $1.44 billion could reconstruct Jamaica? At $10 billion the government give out for the roofs program, you know. What is Mr. Golding talking about? Suffering people. Mark Golding, you think that the PNP government, if the PNP government was in power, they could have given out money? Huh? You know, mash up the country, wreck the economy. And now you're going to talk about dereliction of duty. I'm going to play something for. I'm going to play something for Mr. Golding, you know. I'm going to show Mr. Golding what dereliction of duty is, because give me a second there.
Our listeners, could you please tap the screen, share the live, and repost the live, please?
Let me.
And please remember to support the live goals.
Let me see if I can find it. I don't have it here, but I wish I could. I wish I could find it to play it. Anyway, let's finish playing Mr. Morgan. Let's play Mr. Morgan. Let's finish Mr. Morgan.
That is actually being spent. The $67 billion that is being spent is testament to the scope and magnitude of the work being done by the government to restore normalcy and help our Jamaican brothers and sisters adversely impacted by the passage of Hurricane Melissa to get on with their lives and livelihood. Of the $67 billion that the government is spending, $10 billion out of it is being used under the cash grant related recovery of owner, occupant, family shelter program, i.e. the roofs program. Approximately $21 billion is being spent to repair roof and other infrastructure at the 600.
Hold on. Here is the Prime Minister. Here is it.
General's report benefited from a sweetheart deal that was, according to the Contractor General's report, benefited from a sweetheart deal that was irregular. You benefited off the backs of the Jamaican people in creating your wealth. You were a connected party with the then Minister of Finance, and you advised and created the FinSac debacle with high interest rate. You benefited from FinSac. I did not purchase a FinSac house. I bought, according to the Contractor General's report, benefited from a sweetheart deal that was irregular.
Yeah, that is a dereliction of duty, Mr. Kobe. That is a dereliction of duty. You benefited from a sweetheart deal. Sweetheart deal that was irregular. You're coming to talk about government dereliction of duty. You know what dereliction of duty means? You know what it means? Yes. You are a connected party You, Mr. Golden, that is seeking to lead Jamaica today, you are a connected party. You Golden. You Golden, you are a connected party with the then Minister of Finance, Dr. Run With It, and you benefited off the backs of the Jamaican people. Pay back the people and their money, and that you do. Pay back Jamaicans their money. That should have happened in Jamaica. The 28 civil society groups need to put out a statement and ask Mr. Golden to pay back the money. You are a connected party. You, Mr. Golden, you were connected and you benefited. And now you're coming to talk about dereliction of duty. Be quiet. You, Mr. Golden, you should be quiet. You don't have any moral authority to talk about dereliction of duty. Be quiet. Be quiet, sir. You should be quiet. Shh. Shut up your mouth. No chat too much. Oh, I tell you the truth. No chat too much. Be quiet. You hear me tell you? Be quiet. Because don't make me dig it up.
The Contractor General's report benefited from a sweetheart deal that was irregular.
Irregular. You know who was the Contractor General? Greg Christie. It was irregular. He benefited from a sweetheart deal that was irregular. Golden, shh. Be quiet, Mr. Golden. Shh. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. You know, if you talk, you benefit from a sweetheart deal. Go on in the corner for shut up your mouth. Take your money. Take your money, Golden. Take your money and go on out. Go cool out yourself. You're making enough already. Oh boy, this is so funny. You should have shame. You should have shame of yourself. Thank you, Jeffrey.
You benefited off the backs of the Jamaican people in creating your wealth. You were a connect.
You hear that? You benefited off the backs of the Jamaican people in creating your wealth. My God. My God.
Party with the then Minister of Finance, and you advised and created the FinSac debacle with high interest rate. You benefited from FinSac.
There you go. So then, when you hear this man here,
Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, received a total of $1.44 billion in cash money donated for Hurricane Melissa, comprising $473.4 million Jamaican and $6.1 million US dollars, which is 963 million Jamaican dollars, from the Support Jamaica initiative and direct donations. And they had only used 26 million Jamaican dollars, less than 2%, to spend on the people who are suffering. That is an act of gross dereliction of duty of the government. People suffering. I just saw a video by a tourism worker lady. Said she got 6 sheets of zinc, 6 pieces of wood, 3 box of nails, and a few hurricane straps. And because she got that as a tourism worker from the TEF, she was told she can't get it.
Moderator, moderator, cut out this for me, please. Please cut this out.
I like them and tell them pussy.
Cut that out. That is not me. Lie them at 10. Okay? Lie them.
No music, please, neighbor. Please.
Please repost the live, everyone.
Lie them at 10. Okay? It is all a lie. And it's not only a lie. It is deliberately designed to mislead. That is what makes it so distasteful. I want to go to my callers. It's actually 3 minutes to 8 o'clock. Let's go into to hear what the goodly minister have to say as we
about.
No, I don't want to hear no more calling. Don't want to hear no more
condition.
My fellow Jamaicans,
Let's go.
normalcy and health are Jamaican brothers and sisters adversely impacted by the passage of Hurricane Melissa to get on with their lives and livelihood. Of the $67 billion that the government is spending, $10 billion out of it is being used under the cash grant related recovery of owner occupant family shelter program, i.e. the roofs program. Approximately $21 billion is being spent to repair roof and other infrastructure at the 692 schools damaged by Hurricane Melissa. This figure, of course, includes the money provided to schools for post-Hurricane Melissa cleanup activities. The government provided the United States dollar equivalent of 24 billion Jamaican dollars as a loan to the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPSCO. This loan enabled faster restoration of electricity to the vast majority of Jamaicans many months ahead of what was previously indicated by the JPSCO. $5 billion was provided by the National Works Agency, the NWA, to conduct cleanup and other post-disaster relief activities. Approximately $1 billion was spent on care packages to provide food and personal care products to needy Jamaicans. $3.2 billion has been expended to assist with the restoration of water supply. $3 billion was spent to restore our agricultural sector, which included the provision of critical agricultural inputs to our hardworking farmers. And $3 billion has been spent to assist small businesses with their recovery. A special cash transfer amounting to a total of $155 million to PATH beneficiaries and $32 million for children with disabilities affected by Hurricane Melissa.
All right. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Minister Morgan. Let's go in and see if we can find anyone to who want to join us. Good evening to you, caller. Marcia, good evening. Hello? No, I don't have Marcia. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Hello? Coach Rowan.
Hello.
Good evening.
Boss.
I'm fine. Hi, how are you?
Wagwan.
No matter with no Jamaica girl tonight, you know, sir. Talk serious business.
It a freeze, man.
What a freeze. No man, you are freeze up, man. Come in. Talk to me fast. What happening? Coach, are you there, sir?
I'm hearing you now.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You hearing me clearly?
Yes, sir. I am.
Yeah, me can't believe me ears.
What's happening?
Yes. And one other thing I want to tell you, I know they don't believe them lose, but somebody need to wake them up and tell them that they lose.
Uh-huh.
All they are trying fighting for is power.
Disconnect. I think we're getting a restriction.
Not to help the people.
Your background is giving us a restriction. Oh my God, it's crazy, man. I think they're picking up that maybe he's driving or something. So they have put us on a restriction. Oh my. Okay. 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 All right. All right. Let's work with that. All right. Who else do we have here? We don't have anyone. All right. Okay. Now, the whole matter of leadership is not merely the occupation of office, the occupation of office within a political party. Leadership is the sacred obligation to interpret the anxieties of people and return a vision that is worthy of their sacrifice. And I put it to you that since assuming office of the People's National Party, Mr. Golding has often appeared curiously distant from the emotional and material realities of ordinary Jamaicans. Distant. The issue is no longer simply that the opposition obstructs. Obstruction, after all, is useful in democracies. The deeper issue is that obstruction has not been accompanied by anything called illumination. Jamaicans are hearing resistance, but not renewal. Criticism, but not construction. Indignation, but not imagination. And a nation cannot survive indefinitely on press conferences and parliamentary quarrels. The people hunger for policy. They ache for alternatives. Gigi, are you ready for me? Yeah? All right, just send me a request there, Gigi, and I'll pick you up. The people long to know not merely why the government is wrong, but why the opposition would be right. And in the absence of such clarity, a troubling perception emerges that the leadership of the opposition has mistaken theatrical resistance for national relevance. Good evening to you, Gigi.
Hey, neighbor, and your audience.
How are you, man?
All right. Busy day.
So you had a busy day at work, eh?
No, I'm kind of off now. I'm just doing some family business. Kids, picking up kids, dropping off kids, doing all like that stuff today.
Okay. All right. So Gigi, give me your overarching perspective on this matter I've been talking about, where the government is clearly outlining how it has used the $1.44 billion donated to it. But the opposition leader is out this morning putting out that the government has only spent $22 billion. How could this be?
I'm going to be frank with you, neighbor. I don't want to talk out of turn. I haven't been in touch with anything that has been issued today, really. I have really doubled down on this 1.44 million donation, to be very frank. I haven't really dived into it because it's kind of like a bit sometimes tiring, if you understand what I'm getting at. Looking at issues, and it's just, these are just deflections, neighbor. These are things that the opposition want us to deflect to things that aren't worth attention, and people need to learn now how to zone out and put aside. And not to say it is not important. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Listen to the opposition leader for this.
Okay.
After the hurricane hit, ODPEM, which is the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, received a total of $1.44 billion in cash money donated for Hurricane Melissa, comprising $473.4 million Jamaican and 6.1 million US.
Political theatrics. Political theatrics.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if people want to be critical and have an understanding of value of money, $1.4 billion is a drop in the bucket compared to $67 billion.
No, but the government has outlined how it has spent the money. The government said it is.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a $67 billion. What is 1.44 of 67 billion?
No. But don't confuse both. Of the 1.44, that is money that people donated to the government.
I understand that.
And the government is saying that they have used 240 million on replacing roofs, 600 million to build bases for modular homes, and 560 million for additional Hurricane Melissa work, include debris management. That's 1.4 billion. The opposition leader is saying today that only $24 million is spent.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's political theatrics, and it is to get into the minds of the uneducated, to get them to rile up, to start talking all sorts of foolishness. That's what I'm saying. People have to understand the value of money. You have to compare. Has anybody taken that opportunity? Whilst I understand it is donated, do you understand what our budget is? What is the national budget? Up to the last budget was what, 1 trillion?
Yes, little bit over
and
that.
I'm saying to you, $1.44 billion is, as I say, I don't want to belittle the contribution.
No. Uh-huh.
But the value of money, that 1.4 billion can do absolutely nothing. If you even spend off every cent, it can crack.
As far as the scale of the hurricane.
That's what that is what I'm trying to explain to people. People need to stop harp on these small issues. The bigger picture is coming, which is the NARA. The bigger picture is that people need to start put themselves in position. How can I benefit from this massive development that is coming? What are my skill sets? Now, right now, what can I do? What can I offer the companies that are coming into the country? The companies that are already here? The companies that, you understand, what are the services that I can offer to them? Put yourself in a position that you can start benefiting from it, because all of that money needs to stay here as much as possible and circulate in the system. And this is what people need to understand. Stop harping about issues. And I'm going to tell you this, neighbor.
Yes.
I can bet you any money. You see those 28 on the opposition side? They are busy putting themselves in positions.
The opposition MPs.
That's what I'm saying. The 28 of them that you see on the next side are putting themselves in position as much as they have voted against it. They are putting themselves now in position to see how best they can reap benefits of it. I'm telling you this. While we out here squabbling and quarreling about them when they become millionaires because they are putting their brains to use while they use you.
Oh my God.
And we must, as the minds that put them in there, must start to think like them and above them and get ahead of the game. NARA is going to be like a catalyst. If you want to see, the primest example I can explain is when you throw kerosene per fire, my boss. Gas, and not even kerosene no more, like gas, because gas more volatile. It's like when you throw gas per fire.
This morning, Gigi, you started a very interesting perspective in positioning NARA as you use the word catalyst. Help us to understand. You were talking about bureaucracy and how bureaucracy is costly, and how NARA seeks to intervene into the bureaucratic processes to save the taxpayers' money. Explore that with me a little bit more.
All right, so I do project management.
Yes.
So project management, and anybody will tell you how you make money as a project manager. You have to get projects done on or before time.
Yes.
That's the key.
On or before time.
On or before the time. That's it. Ultimate profit making value in any contract.
So if you're a large contractor, contracting highways and so forth, you have to get the project done before time, on time or before time.
Or on time, right. That is where you will see profits. People need to understand that. And what is happening to the public sector, and not only the public sector, the public at large, not even the people in the public sector, because to be very frank, some, I don't want to label everybody, but some of the public sector don't give they are not know whose money it is.
No business.
Them no business. As long as them getting a salary and going back at them yard, some of them don't even care. You understand? And guess what? Some of them hard fire too. Because if you even attempt to do that, the whole union come down by you.
Yes.
Right? And that's the difference between the public sector and the private sector. They even want to start clamp down on private sectors now to operate like public sector. You can't fire anybody. Look here, I'm not saying that people must just fire willy-nilly. There are laws and rules of engagement, and you have to learn them as people. Right? And people have to learn to defend themselves by learning those rules.
Yes.
Because people can't treat you unfairly and just kick you out of the institution without any compensation. There is a legal process and you can't go through it. But people must learn that process themselves.
Yes.
They must try to educate themselves a bit. You understand? And this notion of sitting in a government institution and just satisfied with a salary and just collecting and not interested in getting anything done, that is where the problem. And look here, I keep on talking, and people must listen to what the Prime Minister is saying. He had a new meeting in our recent meeting with the UDC, and he basically charted that we need to get things done. That's the only way you can mark yourself with any grade to get promotion, to get more money, to get this. This is how you have to do it. You have to treat the country like a private sector, if you understand what I'm getting at. You have to treat it that way. That's the only way we will ever progress. Efficiency has to be there. There's no businessman going to business if you have an employee sitting down and not helping achieve the goals that he come here to achieve. You're going through the door.
Yes.
It should be the same for the public sector. But the public sector don't have that mentality because guess what? Over the years, it has been culturalized to be a political feeding tree.
Right. So position NARA in terms of the bureaucratic nightmares. But by the way, tell us of what we call bureaucracy and how that inhibits.
All right. So bureaucracy is this simple. This, as I say, project management is doing any project is to the objective of it is to do it within the time frame or even before the time frame. Because generally, when you do that, you're within budget or under budget. That's the simple analogy of it. Now, for any project that has what you call overrun generally accumulates from extension of time or the longer a project.
Are there some contractors that drags out the contract for that very reason?
It's not in their benefit. It's not
in their benefit?
No, because the contract is signed. All right, let us say you sign a contract for $20 million. Just throwing a number out here. Remember, when you do your calculations and you send your tender cost and you're costing it for the time period. So if you say this project is supposed to finish in 2 months, just for argument's sake again, a showing time period. If you go beyond that 2 months, you start losing money as contractor. You know? If you don't complete the project on time, on your side. But when it is found that the fault is on the client side, which is now the government has to pick up the
that. And how does it become the government's fault? Because it delayed.
All right. So if there are delays, preventing the contractor from executing what he's asked
no. What are some of these delays that can come about from the client side, which is government?
Payment is one.
Payment,
right? Response into simple matters of between technical issues, between approvals, all of those chains that come between these institutions. All of these institutions, that is generally the government's responsibility to get these things done. Right? So if the fault is in the government's lap, where they are responsible for a particular activity in the process. So let us say, for example, I'm just going to give you a simple one, on a project like roads and stuff like that. And the responsibility of the government is to get JPs to relocate poles so you can have the clear pathway to construct the road and what have you. If the client don't get those poles moved within a particular time, based on the schedule that probably you would have sent to him, you would have said, all right, by January we're supposed to be here, so we need the poles them out of the way so we can this particular activity. Now, if you don't move the pole by that time, it now becomes a delay. That's what I'm trying to say. And which is now the government's responsibility now to get the poles moved and relocated to the proper location.
Yes, and even on that project that you are over in Portmore, I see some poles in the road same way. That is the responsibility of the government.
Well, based on how the contract's set up. So you have to understand, contracts are set up in different ways, right? This particular contract is the responsibility of the government, or NW, or the client, so to speak. Now, if you don't get it within the time frame, it is hampering us from executing. So we as a contractor now are going to say, all right, I can now claim for more time because the poles are preventing me from executing a particular task. What that extra time comes with is a cost.
Yes.
With that cost, the client has to pay that extra cost. Because the fault not going forward is your fault. Is the government.
In other words, the government have to carry those time delays.
Time delays. Because you would have submitted what you call a schedule. To schedule to say, all right, you're going to do this activity in this particular era at a particular time. If that time comes and the poles are preventing you from executing, it now becomes a delay.
I got you.
So you know, as a client, have to be savvy enough to also, because these are things that you have to pick up. You have to understand, so you have to write them, and tell them, and advise them, because there's a procedure, There's a process in contracting that when you recognize certain things, you have to write them and tell them, because, and like you just come and say, you have to advise them ahead of time. You can say, boy, look here, next week we plan to do this. Please have the whatever relocated. If you don't come in that time, you start write back another letter. And you say to them, say, look, we're unable to execute this because of such and such or such. You bear in mind, basically you advise them that you're going to claim time. And anytime you claim time, you're claiming more money. Because you're going to spend more time on the project.
Yeah, and the point here you're making, importantly, Gigi, is that you suspect that NARA not only reconstructs, but NARA saves the people of Jamaica significant amount of money.
Significant amount of money. Significant. I tell you that, significant. And I'm going to bring back the example. NARA. NROC is a similar agency. But the task of NROC is specific to highway construction. So NROC in of itself has to push forward for all of these approvals, has to engage the councils, the NAAs, all of these people in order to get the approval to proceed. That's the responsibility of NROC. You have to buy the land. If you have an acquisition of land, you can't expect a contractor to go acquire land No fee, and him not spend the money. You know. If you leave that to the contractor, no, that is the time a contractor would say to you, say, oh, you have to go buy the house the way over there. So when him not really need the house, for move.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? And what that does now, him can set up a next man to say, oh, give me your money half of the thing when time you get the money when them buy your land and all of it. So that is where corruption ends up. So you as a client have to control the project from that perspective. You have to know what you want and how to proceed. You can't leave the contractors are going to, if they see an inch, they're going to take a mile. That's how corruption even takes place. But the NARA is the one that's going to fast track and give the contractor the pathway to execute in a timely manner. So when he finishes the project on time, we will be ending up saving the country billions of dollars.
My goodness.
Not this when one politician might get $125 million out of it. That is minuscule compared to the billions that you'll be saving. People are watching other people. This is where the bad man mentality comes in, neighbor. I'm not saying that it is allowed and accepted. I'm not telling people to accept it. But we are looking at the wrong picture. People need to step aside and look at the right picture. The picture is, this NARA is going to be like gasoline. And as I'm preaching before, people now must put themselves in prime position. How can I benefit? What are the skill sets that I can apply for this NARA that is coming? Put themselves in, and this is where your personal will get better.
Yeah. No, please envision for me, Gigi. At the completion of NARA, the NARA project, what would Jamaica look like?
NARA would be almost like a mini Singapore.
A mini Singapore?
Yeah, mini Singapore. It won't be quite to the level of Singapore, but it would be to the level that you can now catalyze all the other business.
You are saying to me that this NARA bill brings Jamaica to a small Singapore?
Smaller version.
What you saying to me?
Yeah, it's a smaller version that will now where that is now kick on to the next stage of development.
But this is massive.
And this is what I keep on telling we on every night and arguing about NARA, including the politicians that are saying no to the bill, who are now putting themselves in position to get themselves rich off of this thing. And we here are bickering about Allah and worrying about Andrew Holness and Fiend Pocket and how much money him will get, and how much this and how much that. It's small-minded and it annoys me.
Oh.
You understand? The mentality, as I tell you, for that other side, is for their supporters to always have the government.
So you are saying, Gigi, don't move on yet, that in 5 years or so, it will be a brand new Jamaica.
Brand spanking new, because I'm telling you, people are going to come here for business. All right, so I am so excited right now. I'm trying my best to see how best I can position myself back in my home place, which is St. Elizabeth, because St. Elizabeth going to be like I don't know what to tell you, because properties are now, people are seeing some of the vision. That's why I keep on saying, people are losing sight of the most important things. People are heading to St. Elizabeth. People are heading to Westmoreland. People, especially people who come from those sides.
They're heading there.
They're heading there because some of them are putting themselves in position to benefit. They're heading there. And every day we be on the phone. These politicians, I bet you any money. They have companies, they have links, and they're now putting themselves, oh, we can get some of this NARA money.
The very politicians that have voted against the bill.
Every single one of them. Every straight dragging single one of them. Every one of them. Every one of them. Every single one of them will be no position because them see the bill pass. They can't do not much about it. Right? But some people from the political side now may be worried about their political careers. Like the leader. The leader is worried about his political career because if NARA kicks off the right way, that that is PNP in the grave.
Boy, my God. Gigi, you are saying to me that we will see a Jamaica emerging from NARA. That
but let me put a caveat on it. Neighbor, it has to be executed correctly.
yes,
It has to be executed with purpose. It has to be executed with the right projects. This is where Andrew Holness have to win or either make or break Jamaica.
So there will be contractors all over the country working on projects.
Look here, I'm going to tell you, since last year, Matthew Samuda came out. And you see, a lot of people don't listen. And this is why people from foreign will get them contracts here. NWC has so much projects to the point that they cannot implement these projects fast enough because they don't have enough pipe contractors. You understand? You hear what I'm saying?
I heard you.
We don't have enough people in here to execute these projects.
There will be projects all over the parishes.
All over the parishes.
You mean that you're going to have contractors coming in from overseas?
Yeah, because the nature and the scale of it needs capital to neighbor. How contracts works, you know. You benefit a lot as a big contractor when you have cash.
To start the project?
Yeah, because you see these things where you call about delays and all of them. Something. All right. So some of these contractors, yes, cash flow is important. But when you have some big hitters who don't have to worry about cash flow, sometimes they can't finish the entire project.
And don't get no money yet.
Exactly my point. You have some big hitters that can do that. You understand? And don't worry about waiting for money coming. Yes, money will be coming in over time, but they don't depend on it then. I was in a prime institution, which was Boeing. Boeing never have to worry about money. They were heavy hitters. They can spend money up front, right? And get things done. And then they work on the money in the back end of it. Claims and, you understand? And while it's a balance that now some of that money come in and prop them up and continue the operations. But they generally sometimes are wealthy, very wealthy contractors. You understand? So, and all of these people, contractors will be wanting services to be done. They might carry in expatriates. See how you can rent them at Airbnb. See how you can rent them a car. See how you can benefit by
provide meals
for them. When them come with them family, you have to be a chaperone for them. You have to, these are things that we have to look into. What can I tap into? And stop the bickering. Sorry. You understand? We need to be more long-term and start to think and start following money. These politicians best believe, I can tell you, you have some of them, as I say, on the political, on the other opposite side, worrying about their political career. That is where they know is really generated from, you know. But we can tell you, don't best believe, say, don't believe Bunting, Amar Golden. Don't have money, can start, buy up some lands. Down at St. Elizabeth and Westmont and all of them places. And put that somebody else's name. Because they don't want it to load up. And start to look to benefit from this NARA project. I tell you that, I'm not asking that. So while they are quarreled back off about no, they are putting themselves in line. The only thing that is worrying them is their political career. Because they know if this thing is executed properly and the right way, you can, I would say, another decade on them.
Wow. So then, Gigi, NARA becomes the catalyst for Jamaica's development. It is the thing that Jamaica will use to push itself forward. And yet and yet it is getting fierce opposition from the opposition. But you are saying that while they are opposing it in Parliament, on the business side and personal side, they are positioning themselves to benefit personally.
There's no two ways about it. I know this. Look here, remember, I know they are politicians. They have to pretend that they're working on behalf of the people, right? And regardless of what, they also have a life to live. And some of them are of the mindset that they only can, some of them, but the more they get involved, I would say the younger ones, them might learn that a little later. Like the Miss Queen and the other young one, them are coming at the Parliament. But this more seasoned one, I can tell you, they are positioning themselves. And then they will catch on afterwards. They will realize and say, wait, we have to do this and we have to do that.
Yeah.
And because they're in a particular circle, they'll be in a particular circle, you know.
Yeah.
These businessmen, some of these businessmen and them are friends.
Yeah. Gigi, how do you think that the government should sell NARA to the people? Here you are tonight, opening up many eyes. How do you think the government should sell this bill to the people?
Try their best to sell it to the people by placing themselves in opportunity to capitalize on NARA.
Oh.
They have to sell it to the people to capitalize on NARA, meaning we don't want the money that we getting in from loan to everything go abroad. We don't want all of it to go abroad. We want some of it to stay here. So the people who can offer services, get yourself in line. Line yourself up. Start to investigate. What can you offer? Start to ask questions. What are the plans? This is what probably government, the people now should be asking the government. Look here. We want to know where the development is going. We need to publicize it.
Yes.
Make it public. You understand what I say?
Yes.
So people can see the opportunity and go there and grab it.
Yes. So all those people in the urban areas.
Yes.
Position themselves where these projects.
Themselves. Right. You see, even this heart thing that they're making free, is not a coincidence too, you know. You see, all of those people coming from heart will be filtered into all of these industries, this construction industry. A lot of them will be filtered into it and getting work. So when you have that technical know-how and skills, you are going to benefit big time. Right? So the hard thing is a master stroke for long-term development. Right. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to also add to it, and what NARA also does, neighbor, it will give Jamaicans an opportunity to work with international companies
for exposure, experience,
and getting that international experience to see how first world operation is. And I best bet you, when they leave or when they decide to even branch off or leave that institution, when they go into the world, there's nobody like them. And I'm going to say this. I'm a beneficiary, as I say, of that type of activity. As I said, I work for the French company, the Bouygues. Bouygues, at the time, was the #1 construction company in the world. You hear what I just said here?
Yes, sir.
There are two construction companies were the biggest construction company in the world at the time when I joined Bouygues. Was Bouygues and Vinci. Vinci was #2. Vinci, who is now in Jamaica doing the $75 billion pipeline from Chilani to Negril.
$75 billion.
Okay. And the $40 billion pipeline from Black River to Pigeon Plains.
My God.
Right? So these are first world countries that can give youngsters an exposure to first world activity. They will have the latest technology in construction. The persons have to enter those institutions with an open mind to try and learn as much as possible. Right? I can tell you the benefit of a lot of my friends from high school, from university. When they joined Buick, a lot of us had joined because they took in a lot of us in 2002. Between the period of 2002 to 2003, a lot of us joined straight from university into the institution. And a lot of these guys now, they're all over the world. Meaning, is either they're all over the world or they're making a meaningful contribution to the nation by having their own companies. A lot of them have their own companies now. You understand? So people don't downplay that NARA activity, that NARA, because NARA can give you that international experience through the contracts or contractors that will be coming here.
Yes. Well,
Yes, and so even the local contractors need to also position themselves and look at it.
yeah. So you say then forward with NARA, eh?
For sure.
Wow. And you are going to, you think Gigi as a contractor yourself will be well okay over the next 5 years or so?
I would want to hope so. Neighbor. I'm hoping because, as I say, you still have to go out there and put yourself out there.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't just sit because, as I say, it is using up the network, trying to get as much information as possible, use up your skill set.
Uh-huh. How is the road coming on to get to Hellshire?
It's there because we have maintained the normal two-lane traffic that is there. Even though I was off, I visited the site today. We're putting in some major infrastructure right now, some walls, some retaining walls. That is critical to retaining the road. Within the next week or two, you'll be probably seeing the entire place fully white.
Marled off?
Yeah, marled off and everything within the next 2 weeks, probably. 3 weeks. There's a section in Portmore Parkway that's around Hungway Mall. I don't know if you know them, called around as a Sovereign.
Yes.
Yeah, that area will be asphalted off, going around to I-95 and shortly.
Wow. Yes. Fantastic.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting times, neighbor. As I said, me only can tell even people in the diaspora line up themselves.
Now this UNDP report that suggests that 56% of Jamaicans want to migrate. You think that's true, sir?
Vaguely, not with even U.S. environment. You know, U.S. environment is not one that people are readily want. People up there don't want to leave. So
with all of this, with all
they're going other places.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going other places.
Yeah, with all of this opportunity coming, of which you speak, you don't think that we ought to do more to get our people to understand that yard is attractive to their prospects?
All right, so you would have probably seen. I don't know if anybody. I kind of follow the Prime Minister very closely, and he recently visited. Where did it go again? Generally, when he travels abroad, he have a diaspora meeting afterwards. In the diaspora meeting, he's always imploring the diaspora people to come back home and invest. And NARA is one of the things that he's also using to sell to them. Right?
Yes.
And one of the reasons he's even employing on those people is to come back with the work ethics that they are being exposed to bring it back to Jamaica to help us be more efficient.
Yes.
Because one of the major problems we struggle with right through is the culture of work. Of understanding work is work, and you have to be professional when you're at work. And trying to get something done on a day-to-day basis is always and should be your first mantra. You understand? Trying to achieve something to comfortably come to our work and even when you sometimes don't like it, neighbor. And that is why I even say, boy, people have to find what them like. You have to find what you like and so whatever you do as work, don't come in like work. You know what I mean? But people have to adapt this culture change coming on time. Leaving, you understand when I say coming on time is a critical part. We're still struggling. I give you an example, neighbor, the same boy there. I'm telling you, the culture of that institution was second to none. For about 3 to 4 years, neighbor. The turnover rate in that institution was so high because people just weren't adhering or just simple rules, not coming to work on time. Every time there's a sign-in process, if you come late 3 times, you're written up. You understand? You're given enough leeway. You have to sign in on time, and if you don't come on time, it's a problem. You're going through the door. They're not wasting no time with your neighbor. We have to develop that culture. And I'm going to say this, a local contractor. I even preached it to my team one morning in safety. So we have generally safety meetings in the morning. And preaching how important safety is. And some people were slacking off and coming to work a little bit late on time. I got a little bit frustrated, I got a little bit angry with them and tell them, say, look here, it's full time. Because I'm so proud to be a part of a local contracting company that is executing these roads widely. Too often we hear about people coming down to do these things when we have the skill set, can do it here. But the part of the problem where attitude is concerned is a problem.
The work ethics needs to be improved, eh?
Look here, I had to go and give it to them in the meeting. I said, look here, I am proud to be a part of this institution, local institution. But what are the problems that cause us not to get these contracts on a regular basis? It's because of our behavior. Because we can't execute on time. We can't finish the projects on time. Right? Because time is of the essence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We have contracted a portion of the work. We have contracted a portion of work to the Chinese. And I'm telling you, neighbor, I'm telling you this. There's a set of Chinese that is on this contract. They show us up every single day.
Oh my gosh.
The efficiency level is second to none. And all me did, I try to look on them and I learn to see how them do things. That's all me did. You understand? They are second to none, neighbor. The efficiency level these guys execute with a level of efficiency that you're amazed. And the efficiency is coming to work on time.
Yeah. Well, Gigi, I'm going to have to run, but boy, I want to thank you for sharing with us tonight.
Yeah, man, no problem. Good.
Talk to you again soon.
All
Fantastic.
Right, cool.
Well, there you have it, listeners. NARA is going to bring Jamaica to the doorsteps of Singapore. 1965, Singapore got independence. 1965. You know what Singapore's per capita GDP is? And when you talk about per capita GDP, you're talking about the value of each Singaporean, what they are producing, their economic value, 88,000 United States dollars. 88,000 United States dollars. I told you the other day that I drove up to a drive-through in Jamaica, and I asked the lady, why is it taking so long? I don't know. Shove our shoulder, I don't know. Yes. I went to a major hardware in Jamaica, major hardware. And after waiting half an hour to be served, and got frustrated and asked to speak to the manager or the supervisor, the manager said to me, if you can't wait, go on. You can't wait, go on. And one of the major hardwares in Jamaica, I waited more than half an hour to be served. And when I asked to speak to the man, he just said, you can't wait, you go on. Go on somewhere else. Okay? That's what Gigi is talking about. Right? I went somewhere else to do something. I heard they're on lunch. The people are out there in the sun hot, turn up and wait. And the girl gone for lunch. You are security guard. When are the, I don't know, sir. Our boyfriend come pick her up and carry her gone. Go get up at lunchtime, quickie, and come back. Right? Our man come pick her up from work. Carry her go away and carry her back. And the people them out the door turn up and wait. That is not going to push us far. Not going to push us far. It is a problem in Jamaica. And the Prime Minister speaks about it ever so often. The whole matter of productivity. Productivity. Go buy one case of water, and when the cashier cash out the water, and you carry it around the back, you can't find nobody to get you. Say, oh, sir, me out here wait for one case. Boss, you better wait, you know, because we not come out this right now. So, boss, man, just gonna get a little case of water and go on, man. You know, my boss, man, at my lunchtime right now, you know, and me from morning, me there, me tired, and me can't bother with none that. You have to go wait, boss, man. If you can't wait, going back or cash out back your water and take back your money. And just so we roll here, so. Yes. Down where I live, near where I live. Not one of them ATM can work a morning. Tomorrow morning you get up and you want $1,000. We said go give your picnic. Go give your picnic if you go to school. No ATM now work. Every one of them broke down overnight. You have to do better, eh? Good night, call on TikTok. Hi. Yes, Jamaica princess. And when you go abroad, I mean, not beating up the country because there is much to celebrate here in Jamaica. Much to celebrate. Like one man called me today, talk about minimum wage. The minimum wage in 2016 was $6,200. Today it is $17,000. We have made progress. We have made a lot of progress in Jamaica. But you see the people who are in the United States, in Canada, and have experienced service, they're not happy when they come home with our level of customer service. We have to pick it up, we have to pick it up. Wife Style Politics, you're on YouTube. Good evening to you.
Good evening, neighbor, and good evening, everybody. Are you hearing me clearly?
Loud and clear. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing all right. I just want us to, I'm just taking the argument back a little bit.
Yes.
To the 1.4 billion donation that was collected.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to tie something in that I didn't hear anybody else tying in, which is very much a part of this same money.
Yes.
Now, do you remember just a few days ago, Desmond McKenzie said that he sent 70 million down to the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation in order to get some of those bases done down there, 20 of them?
Mm-hmm.
Can we look now and see that that 70 million was from that same 1.4? But at the time when the AG did that audit, that 70 million was back with Desmond McKenzie because the municipal corporation did not use it to do what they were supposed to have done. And that is why it ended up being just what, 24 million they said had been spent from it.
Yes, ma'am.
And not more. So that observation I wanted to point out to people too, because this is from the same money, and that is why Desmond Mackenzie collected it back when he saw that nothing was being done with it, because this is the donation money and we do not want to have any problems with it. And so when they said no, that they were ready to move along, that is when he returned that money to them. So I am looking at it and saying, when this audit was done, this was probably the time, when the money was back in the ODPEM account, right? And so this same issue that Mark Golden is having right now, he is having it because they are same people. Because while it would not have been like the full amount being used yet, because the bases are not yet done, if you put that 70 million on top of the 24, at least they would have said that 70, 80, 90 something million would have been used.
Yes.
Right? So they are the same one who has caused the amount that would have been used by that time to have been less. Because they are holding up the project down there in the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation. Because this is what we want our donors to see, those bases, so they can go back and they can say, this is what my money has done. That is what I understand from what Marlon said. That donors will be able to have this tangible thing to say, this is what my money did. And so another time when something happens under this, if it happens under this government, the people will not be hesitant to donate again, because the last time when they donated, they saw what was done with their money.
Yes.
They can literally go back down there when the modular homes are up and said, my money is a part of why these modular homes are on basis, and whatever else. They can physically see their money and what it was used to do. And I applaud that, because let us say
sensible.
It's very sensible, because let us say the money did what PNP claimed that their $3 million did. Or we would say to people, oh, your money went into care packages. And they would be like, okay, where is the care package now? They can't see that. And that is why we used government money to do that kind of thing. And that is why we use government money for that kind of thing that, everybody is gone, all that is done. Not even the people that received care packages, remember that they got care packages and how many they got and what was in it. Everything is done, everything is gone.
$1 billion, ma'am.
$1 billion.
$1 billion. Spent on care packages. That's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of money and nothing to show. Nothing to show really for it. Yes, it relieved the people at the time, but nothing tangible to show for it at this point. And that is why it is a very sensible move to leave that 1.4 donation money and use it for what they have earmarked it for. Very sensible decision.
And as a matter of fact, I think the government ought to be commended for that.
I think so too. Very, very good move, because I wasn't even thinking about it until, it was said that this is what and why. I thought, wow, this is a really, really, really good idea. And you can see that thought was put into this,
Yes.
you know, and you know, to have it being used in the way it is being used.
Yes.
Yes. And again, the PNP is who hold it up so that it is only 2% that has been used, because it would have been more if the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation did what they were supposed to do from the time that they got that money, from the first time. I'm not sure. Desmond McKenzie had said he was the contractor was to be paid last Thursday. I've not heard anything since, so I don't know if they paid him and you know, and how the project is going now, because at the time they said it was only 6 of the bases that were done out of the 20 that is to go on that particular plot, and I think it will be 50 in total, 50 bases. Yes, but I think that particular place in Westmoreland, they are only doing 20 there out of the 50. So it is always PNP trying to find some way to hold us back and then come out swinging as if. Do you notice when Mark Golding said the word billion, how much emphasis he placed on the billion, as if 1 billion is this, you know, infinite amount of money, and there is no way that anybody could be outside still if we collected $1 billion for in cash donation. According to him, he emphasized on the cash. But let us use Mark Golding's logic. That 1.44 billion, if the government decided that because we got this in cash, we are just going to give it over back to people in cash, 270,000 households assessed. It could be more than that, but that is what that's the approximate number of households damaged. If we divide 1.44 billion by 270,000 and give each household an equal amount of that, they get $8,000 or $8,500 thereabout. And anybody can divide it up and see what it would be. Or would that mean that nobody would be under tents if they got $8,000? So Mark Golding is just not thinking. That just doesn't make sense. And that would not have benefited anybody. What would $8,000 have done to anybody down there that is under the tent? It would have moved them from under the tent? No. They would have been worse off.
Yeah.
So all this foolishness, that the PNP is going on with, they think that this is the 70s and when they controlled everything and there was no social media and they dumbed down everybody and exchanged their brain matter for banana trash or whatever so that they cannot think for themselves and make rational decisions. They somehow have been stuck in that period of time.
Yes.
So they don't understand that when they come out and they do these things, they end up looking stupid because there are people who are going to think about it and understand what is happening and show them up. And no matter how you show them up, they're also very shameless. They come back tomorrow and they say the same thing.
Yes, ma'am. Won't make a chop.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they chat a lot of nonsense, man, and they getting paid. They're getting paid to do it.
But is that what their constituents voted for them to do, though?
Well, you know, ma'am, I'm slowly realizing that those people don't even care.
True.
Don't even care, ma'am. I have Joshua over there with me. Hello, Joshua. Is Joshua over there?
Joshua is on strike.
Oh, you striking, sir?
Yes, sir. Joshua not getting proper pay, so Joshua is on strike.
Well, how you doing, man?
I'm as good as the Lord permits, sir. How are you?
Not doing bad at all.
Wonderful.
How are you, man? What's on your mind? What you covering tonight?
Well, greetings to White Style, to Caroline, Chef Reem, Keisha. I think those are the four that I know of. And one more. I think it's five in all. And greetings to you and your lovely listeners and viewers.
Yes, sir.
I want to chime in a little bit on this whole matter of the money that White Style was on a while ago. And I hear White Style mention that the PNP are shameless. Actually, that is old news. PNP has managed to slaughter the people of Jamaica from the 70s just for disagreeing with them, and has had the finance minister running off with the NIR and still don't feel shame. The largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich took place under this leader of the PNP, who happens to be the great grandson of a slave owner, and they are not embarrassed about it. So adding another lie and another layer to it means nothing to them.
But let me ask you this before you proceed, Joshua.
Sure.
I don't think we can just dismiss it as a lie. This is a man that holds an unenviable position in the country, the position of leader of the opposition. And when he acts in this irresponsible way, I don't think the society should just go on. Golden told the country today that the government has only spent $24 billion. That is clearly not true. Marlon is on your screen. He is saying the government have spent basically all the money.
Again, whilst it's unacceptable in the eyes of moral people, the Master Builders Association that came out and claimed that they were a civic society group, and we know Master Builders Association is not a civic society group. Jamaica Association for the Deaf, Churches Against NARA, these are not civic society groups. So, and all of these are PNP adjutants. And, whilst for moral people like you, the listeners, and those who understand proper ethics and are governed by it, I want to make a connection between what I said just before you asked that statement. For someone's great grandparents to have been a slave owner in a country that is predominantly black and not just a slave owner, but his grandparents enslaved the same set of people's grandparents and then went on a stage with a chain in front of the same set of people and say that he's the one who's going to free them from the very thing that his own great grandparents did. And he collected and he inherited slave money, plus wrecked the country's economy through FinSac again. And he's not ashamed about it. Then we can't expect good morality and ethics from anybody like that. This man is a descendant of our persecutors, of our enslavers, and everything that represents something that is bad. And he still wants to be prime minister to add to the sufferings of what his forefathers did, and also he himself is guilty of. And we are asking him to exercise morality? No, that's asking a little bit too much of him. He doesn't possess it. Right? When a man can look at the prime minister and blatantly stand on a stage and say, 6 members of your party is in court or they are being charged by the Integrity Commission, even when the Integrity Commission never said so. And him said, name them, Andrew, name them, call them. And the Integrity Commission never said so, and he doesn't feel bad about it. You expect morality from somebody like that? The man is a serial liar. The man stand in front of Jamaicans and said he's not a British citizen. You expect morality from that? The man said he went to the British embassy and stand in line like everybody else. And nobody, including poor people, don't stand in line to get a visa at the British embassy. You expect morality from someone like that? There is no morality. To put Mark Golding and morality in the same sentence is like asking a cow to bark, asking the sky to be underneath your feet and the earth to be above your head. Asking the wind not to blow. You know, and that is what we're asking of Mark Golding, to say to him, do something that is impossible for you to do. Right? Because he doesn't know the meaning of it. He's incapable of being moral. And I'm not saying this to be political. For those who are objective enough and can check for themselves, they will find that everything I've just said is true. He's incapable of being moral. So when Mark Golding go out there and claim that it's only, well, it's not the $28 million that was spent, and I'm almost certain that he agitated. You know, I know you said we shouldn't say it, but based on the track record, every time the PNP is under pressure, the AG and the IC come out with something to bail out the PNP from underneath the pressure that they're under. And they were under pressure with the Dennis Gordon situation and the Mace situation in Parliament. So they had to get a reprieve. And that is what they do. They normally activate their cells when they're under pressure. So for those who are listening, apart from the $98 million that was just mentioned by Wildstyle, we must not forget that ODPEM stated that there is $600 million that has been earmarked to do additional work, and they're waiting on approval. So it's not a case where they didn't plan to do anything with it, or they didn't identify something that needed to be done. It's just that they're waiting on approval. And this is the very reason why NARA is so critical, because all of these red tape that stand in the way of people like these, right, and getting on back with their lives, NARA would ensure that while we observe the laws of the country,
yes,
right, and the systems that are in place, it is going to be done more speedily and in a very focused way. Because everything will now be under one umbrella instead of sending it to a ministry to be approved and sending it there to be approved. And it takes forever. When everything is under one umbrella, you get a quicker approval process. Now, for those who have concerns, I have heard, I want to be kind for a minute and say that there are genuine concerns somewhere, somehow in the midst of it, the small contractors, as the PNP has been trying to push the lie anyway, that the small contractors will not benefit. That's not true. I can submit to you, for those who are thinkers and can crunch the numbers, we are going to have a labor shortage in Jamaica. We are going to end up with a serious labor shortage to the extent that we will have to grant work permit to foreigners to come in once the rebuilding process begins.
We will have a labor shortage.
We will have a labor shortage. If we look at it objectively, the scale of construction that is going to take place, $6.7 billion plus $150 billion, right? Plus creep money, plus other money that we may identify here and there. The scale of that construction that is going to take place, we can safely say it's about $10 billion worth of construction that is going to take place. Never in the history of Jamaica, perhaps in the entire Caribbean, have we ever seen this magnitude of work. Guidelines. Once they follow the guidelines that are there to be adhered to and they meet the criteria, which I don't believe will be onerous criteria, just meet the criteria, and you have had a proven track record of doing good, you can't handle the amount of work that's coming your way. You will have to seek a work permit to bring in people from other territories. So you don't need to fear as a small contractor. Make sure that you bring in your project on time and you do proper job. There's no need to do no shortcut to get more work, because even when you have done the work to the best of your ability, right? Once you have done it, that boy, this man has done a good job. There's more work for you to get, and that is the consolation that I'm offering to those who may have fear. The government has even lowered the threshold in terms of those who can get government contracts, whereas previously it was much higher. So when PNP is trying to drive fear in the hearts of the small contractors to say, CC, what the PNP need to be honest about is that the threshold has been lowered. So more persons are now going to be entitled to or within the line of getting contract than would have been normally. Don't listen to them. PNP does not want this country to move forward, because if it moves forward, their fear is that they will become a relic. And as MP Kerence Morrison said, Old Hope Road will become a museum. And one labor right bloggers call it Old House Road. Whichever term you use to refer to it as, it therefore means that there'll be very little need for the PNP, and that is their primary fear. When you hear the PNP going on platforms and talking about thievery, ask them to prove it. Don't just say it. Provide the receipts.
Hold on for me, Joshua. Chops Media, good evening to you.
I greet you well.
Greet you well too, Chops. How are you?
Very well, thank you, sir. Yeah. Joshua, how are you doing?
Chops, I didn't realize.
I'm well, my brother.
You were a school board chairman, eh?
A lot of things the half has never been told.
Yeah, you are a little concerned about a comment made by the president of the Jamaica Teachers Association about the politicization of school boards. You want to tell us what your concerns are?
Well, if you know who the president of the Teachers Association, the Teachers Association is, then you would understand why I have an issue with that comment. The president of the JTA is Mike Malava. For those who don't know, Mike Malava would have been an individual, a union guy who was selected to run on the People's National Party's ticket over there in St. Thomas. He was slated to go up against James Robertson. And one of the reasons I have an issue with the position that he has taken is the fact that how could you really refer to the politicization of education when in the history of the JTA we have never, while we can all agree that the JTA was the first union, the first affiliate of the People's National Party. The Teachers Association, which was then called the Teachers Union, was a product of the PNP. And it's a little different with the JLP being a product of the union.
Yes.
If you can see the difference there. The JLP came out of the labor movement. So the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union gave birth to the JLP. And that is why they will say that it comes from the bowels of the working class.
Yes.
But the PNP gave birth to the Teachers Union. And the Teachers Union was the first affiliate to the People's National Party. The Teachers Union back then would be equivalent to what we call G2K or Young Jamaica or the Patriots today. They were not just merely a teachers union, they were an affiliate of the PNP. Why am I making that point so strongly, neighbor? It's because Mike Malava, who sits at the chair as the president today, would have brought that organization full circle back into the clutches of the PNP.
Well, did they leave, sir?
Well, there are those, and there are past presidents who would have been a little more subtle in how they position the association as it relates to their political affiliation. But Mike Malava made no mistake about positioning the JTA as a heavy, strong, influential political organization.
Is Mr. Malava incorrect, Chops, that some school boards have political hats?
I don't know what is described as a political hack. Because what I know is that school boards are fitted with persons of integrity and persons who volunteer their service to assist with the administration of school duties throughout their community.
Tell us what a school board does.
A school board provides oversight and policy guideline and directive for the school. A school board really represents the minister. The school board chairman report specifically to the Minister of Education.
How is the board appointed?
The board is appointed by the minister. All members are appointed by the minister.
The Minister of Education?
Minister of Education, that is.
Appoints all school boards?
I beg your pardon?
Appoints all school boards?
Well, there are some exceptions to private institutions. Institutions that are run by churches and other organizations might not see the full appointment by ministers. There are some instances where those private institutions would ask for political representatives to make a suggestion here or there or make a recommendation. But primarily, they are not really run by the government. Therefore, the government doesn't have a dictate as to who sits on the board. But as it relates to government-run institutions, government-run schools, the Minister of Education would appoint those members. I don't have the regulations sitting in front of me, the NCE regulations right now, but I will tell you that a high school has about 15 members. And of that 15, four of those members would be recommended by the members of parliament in which constituency the school sits. And those recommendations go directly to the minister, who then appoint. The other members would form part of the school structure. The PTA, the administrative staffing, the auxiliary staffing. There are some corporate members as well based on professional qualifications and what they bring to the table. And there are community reps as well. So there's a broad coverage as it relates to representation.
So you are saying, Mr. Chops, that Mr. Malavir attempted to portray school boards as political dumping grounds filled with political hacks, while conveniently ignoring the uncomfortable truth that one of the most heavily politicized entities within Jamaica's education system is the JTA itself. You are
Yes, sir.
accusing the JTA of being the most heavily politicized organization, sir?
Yes, sir. The JTA, the Jamaica Teachers Association, is one of the most heavily politicized organization in Jamaica's history. And I say that without any fear of contradiction.
And you are not saying that because Malavir has attacked school boards of which you are a chairman.
No, sir. I have made those comments many years ago, and I will stand by it because history is on my side. And I just lay out for you the historical context in which I make those pronouncements.
Yeah. And Malavir is concerned that there is the politicization of education. And you are saying if the JTA itself is politicized, then the politicization of education would have to rest more with the JTA.
Lie square at the feet of the JTA?
Yes, because as far as the union is concerned, it carries more weight than the school board.
It is the heaviest, it is the largest organization in Jamaica that carries the heaviest political influence that can sway a government in making decisions. There's no other organization in Jamaica that is as powerful as the JTA. And me saying this right now and taking them on in this manner might just put me in their crosshair, but I care zero. I've been saying this for a long time.
Yeah. Well, you also referenced the Capri study.
Yes.
Room for improvement, the gap between public spending and child outcomes in Jamaica. I haven't read the Capri report. You want to tell us about the findings of that report and what are your concerns?
Capri exposed the belly of the beast, as I would term it. Because what Capri has proven is that the money that we have been spending on education in Jamaica is really like throwing money into a black hole. The Capri report,
but a lot of it goes to salary jobs.
Well, not just salary. The Capri report exposed that 86% of the education expenditure in Jamaica is absorbed by compensation and wages.
But that has been so for a long time.
Yes, and there are other expenses that falls within that percentage as well. What I am simply saying is that compensation and wages, right? That is where the bulk of the money is absorbed.
And you are also saying that is where the JTA focuses its attention.
But you have never heard the JTA coming out here advocating for training programs to be developed for kids. You have never heard the JTA using their bully pulpit to champion the cause for improving the grades. You have never heard the JTA saying that we should ensure that persons are paid based on performance. You have never heard JTA saying that teachers who are non-performers must be held accountable. You've never heard that. You've never heard JTA say, let us find creative ways of bridging this gap in terms of the loss of learning and the low performance in our students. Instead, what the JTA will do, they will sit and use their powers and brains to formulate a program to calculate passes based on percentage of students who've been submitted for education, for exams, as opposed to the entire population of students who should be sitting exams. And we can explore that because the Patterson report speaks to that in its entirety. See, my position on this issue is not unique to me because there are other institutions, there are learned individuals, there are research units in this country who would have seen the exact same thing and would have made their pronouncement on it. And we are having this discussion today because there are two things before us. there's a letter written to the Observer by Mike Malava. And there's also the Capri findings.
Yes.
And it is so funny that both documents is perfectly timed, because for him to make that comment at the same time when the institution findings literally speaks to the organization that he heads and highlight the issues that you could lay squarely at their feet. It is absolutely marvelous to see it.
You are saying, Chops Media, that rather than blame shifting, that the time has come for a more collaborative effort between the stakeholders in the sector to solve the problems that obviously are there. When you listen to, for example, the opposition spokesman on education, he's another part of the problem, because I don't know what his solutions are. He continues to point out some problem. But Malavir, you are saying, is shifting blame to board chairman and board members, who you are saying are volunteers who are interested in developing the schools and in education in Jamaica, eh?
I don't think Mike Malava has any concrete evidence of, persons who sit as board chairs or who sit on a board that should be described as political. I think that was shameful and disrespectful for individuals who have given their time free of cost to sit on a school board, to spend numerous man hours to ensure that the school operates, to sign checks and to sign documents to ensure that the very teachers that he leads are paid and are compensated properly. And for him to come out and to throw that sort of argument out in the public space, I think that is extremely unfortunate. And I think Mike Malava should really take a look at those comments and probably withdraw them.
Oh, you are calling on Malava to withdraw his comments?
Withdraw those comments, man. It's distasteful, and it really sends a bad signal to persons who have given their time of service. And when volunteerism is really on the decline in Jamaica, and if there's one group of individuals that have been consistent in terms of giving their time, it would have been the board chairs or board members, school board members, who have given their time free of cost. And I don't think that should be, you should not have the conversation without recognizing that this is a valuable group of individuals. And for him to make that comment, neighbor, I believe that he needs to really and truly think about it. And as a person senior in the education field, he should withdraw those statements.
Fantastic. Well, we heard you loud and clear. Let me move you on to the 1.4 Auditor General report. Chops Media, the leader of the opposition today put out a video suggesting, quoting from the Auditor General's report, that the government has only spent $24 billion. Now, the report, he said, was in February. We are now in the month of May. Marlon Morgan today counteracted or provide some clarity, suggesting that the government has basically spent off all the money. Don't you think that something should be done to ask the leader of the opposition to withdraw that also, because that is obviously misleading?
Yes, it's quite misleading, and I can understand when you're speaking from the opposition's chamber, and you might not be privy to the entire.
Oh no, but Chops Media, an opposition leader cannot be irresponsible. He ought to have checked the sources. Right. Can't he access the information from the ODPM? Couldn't he have called the Prime Minister?
He can, just like every individual on your program here, who have been so eloquent.
Even journalists can do that,
Absolutely, sir. So again, I'm pointing out the fact that they're speaking from the position as the opposition is not to give them a pass. It is to highlight the power that the opposition carries, in that they are privy to more information than the average Joe. And
let me ask you a question before you move. Could the PAC summon the Director General?
Yes, sir. The PAC can summon just about anybody to a committee that is under government's purview.
Well, you know, Chops Media. I don't know. I find that Mr. Golden's behavior in that video is very sad, because
it is sad. Neighbor, at some point, we have to recognize that we are one Jamaica.
Yes.
And while many might share separate political views,
yes,
there comes a time when we have to put our individual political preferences to the side and focus solely on Jamaica.
Yeah, because why say they have only spent 24 when the government today is saying we've spent all the money?
But neighbor, again too, I will go back to something I said not so long ago. When I lie, Chops is sorry about that.
Yeah, when I lie
is left unchecked, it becomes true.
Yes. What Marlon should do is to take out that clip from the opposition leader, pick it up, and play it, and said, Jamaicans, listen to this.
But what should have also happened, neighbor, and I hate to have to say this because I don't like saying it, is that we have given the PNP almost a week or more to spread this propaganda throughout Jamaica.
Yeah, man. No, just pick it up and say, listen to this man. Just say, listen to this man. Jamaica, listen to this man. And play when he says that. And then you show to Jamaica on the other screen, say, here is where the money is. And tell them that Golden knows. Tell him, say Golden knows the truth.
But my thing though, neighbor, is that the Auditor General came out with that report suggesting that only 1.8%.
But that's February. That's February.
Right. And if it's a running, and that's what I keep saying. I was saying this to our people on your program the other day.
It's a real-time audit.
A real-time audit.
In other words, if you do the audit today, it's a different result you get.
You remember when I said that to them, that the audit is based on a snapshot of a period in time?
It's like a poll.
Yes, and it could be different 2 days down the road based on what's available.
Yeah, because you may sign a contract the very day the audit is being done.
Exactly.
And tomorrow morning, the transfer of the funds.
Exactly. So I'm just saying two things. You can't chase every dog on your way to your destination. You'll never get there. That's one. And I'm saying that to say that I don't expect the JLP to respond to every single nonsense that comes out of the PNP.
Well.
However, there are some issues that needs immediate and aggressive rebuttal.
Well, but Morgan has been very aggressive on this, and he has been. I commend him. He has really been seeking to provide clarity, and what he has done, I think, has helped a lot. And it has shown the opposition leader to be a man that lacks credibility when it comes on to giving information.
Yes.
But I think Marlon should double down on this a little bit more and show, because what Golden put out today is a lie.
From the pit of hell, sir. From the pit of hell.
It's a lie.
From the pit of hell. And that it doesn't do good for Jamaica, because
no, it doesn't.
You see, what the PNP is doing, neighbor, which I find to be very dishonest, is yes, you are an opposition party and your duty is to highlight and to try to get to govern. That's your sole, really and truly, that's your sole duty, is to try to create an environment, a hostile or an uncomfortable environment for the government with the intention that the people will choose you. But there comes a time when you have to recognize that in that pursuit, neighbor, you have to look at the damage that you could do to the very product that you are trying to control.
Because for example, the donors that gave this money are going to say, and you know how people are. You know I run a charity, Chops.
Yes.
And I will tell you this: if I got 2 boxes of ice cream, the children wanted it same time.
Yes.
Now, I, as a responsible adult, will know that I can't give you 2 boxes of ice cream to eat off same night. For example, if I got shoes for the children, they wanted them immediately. Give me shoes, it come for me. No, I am a responsible parent. I'm going to say, no, I can't give you the shoes, because if I give you shoes now, when September come, I'm going to have to find money to buy shoes for you. So I put up the shoes. Did you know that sometimes they tear the storeroom down to take them out?
Oh yeah.
Because
absolutely.
they saw when they were given.
Yes.
And they feel that they must get it now. So charity, and when people give things, people feel like they must not get the money, put it in them hand. The idea that Golden is presenting to the people is that the money should have been taken and given to them. Put it in them hand and give them. The government is saying, no, we are being responsible. Not only to the people, but to the donors. Because 20 years after this, those roofs will be on. Those foundations that the government are making will be there. The donors are going to benefit. The donors are making a tangible contribution to these people's lives, long term, maybe for generations.
Yes.
It may not be politically expedient, but it is the right thing to do.
Yes. It's unfortunate, neighbor, and I think the politics has to change. Where, I've said this before, and I like to say that because I remember vividly when the Jamaica Labour Party was in opposition. And there were at least 3 occasions that the JP supporters wanted to protest. 3 separate occasions under Michael Antihonis as opposition leader. And he said, absolutely not. I remember the last one was while he was in government. And the Integrity Commission, under the leadership at the time of Greg Christie, when he made certain pronouncements and tweeted certain things that were not true about the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister was on a tour in Africa, I believe it was. And the JLP supporters organized themselves to protest. A matter of fact, they wanted to go to Kingston when the Prime Minister was on his way back to welcome him and to show solidarity at such a really tough time for him. And he really wanted nothing to do with it. He said, no. People wanted to go there and organize and mobilize to protest against the PNP several times on various issues. And the Prime Minister has always said no.
I would have to tell you that right now I wouldn't mind seeing a protest against them. So I tell you the truth.
I tell you something, neighbor.
I wouldn't mind seeing a protest.
One of the things I will say to you that our party leader is a responsible man.
Yes.
And he has never been one to support anything that could divide us as a people.
Well, I don't know that there's need to be division. I think there should be a protest that drum up support for NARA. I think the people of Jamaica should come out very strongly. But
my argument, though, neighbor, is NARA has passed in both houses. I think NARA is now waiting for it to be gazetted.
Yes.
And
that's right. That's right. That's the only support we need.
And gazetting don't need anything other than it is signed off by the GG and goes for gazetting.
Yeah.
NARA is water under the bridge.
Yeah.
Now, if the PNP wants to take NARA to court, I don't see the grounds on which they're going to be successful.
Yes.
In stopping the implementation of NARA.
Right. And did you hear GG tonight, sir? talking about Jamaica positioning themselves for this, that Jamaica may become a small Singapore. What a fantastic thing.
But neighbor, that is where we should have been had it not been for the failed policies of the Michael Mann, the administration back in the 1970s.
And the opposition leader coming out today go talk about what him say about abdication or something like that of responsibility. What him say?
Had it not been for two particular period of Jamaica's history, 1972 to 1980 and 1989 to 2007, had it not been for those two particular periods that were led by the PNP, Jamaica would be ahead of Singapore today. And I bet that on my life.
My God. You said Jamaica would be ahead of Singapore, sir?
Jamaica should have been and could have been and would have been ahead of Singapore had it not been for the failed policies of the People's National Party between 1972 and 1980 and between 1989 and 2007.
It's a big statement that you're making, chaps, because Singapore is one of the richest countries in the world.
But Singapore learned from us.
And you are saying that Jamaica could have been wealthier than the US, wealthier in terms of per capita GDP, had we not had the PNP.
Singapore is the size of St. Catherine with 10% of the natural resources that Jamaica has. The only bad thing that Jamaica has been through was the period of 1970 to 80 and 1972 to 80. 1970 really.
I wonder if the listeners are hearing this.
And 1989 to 2007. Just go and check it.
Listeners, you type in Singapore
for
on your gadget.
For those young researchers, for those young persons on your program who are young researchers, who have the gift of researching, just do some research and come back to us and tell me that I am wrong. Go and look at the model that Singapore utilized to become Singapore. Go and look at where Jamaica was in 1970. Go and look at where Jamaica was in 1968. Look at where Singapore was in 1968. Look at what Singapore implemented between 1972 and 1980. Look at the economic model that they use. Go and check the resources that Singapore has, natural or otherwise. Go and check it and see if it matches up to Jamaica. Singapore is the size of St. Catherine with 10% or less of the natural resources that Jamaica has. Jamaica, and I say it without any fear of contradiction, had it not been for the PNP in two particular periods, 1970 to 1980 and 1989 to 2007. I'm not even going to go with 2011 to 2016. I am sticking with those two periods. Because had it not been for those two periods, Jamaica would have been ahead of Singapore.
Let me ask you this. Has there been any academic study done by Capri or from any of the universities to look at that, to get us to understand how difficult these periods were and how they mitigate against our development? Because I think you're onto something there when you speak about where we would have been had it not been for these periods, because those were very damaging period for our economy. You know of any academic study that would have been done to position Jamaica on a trajectory, on a path over the decades?
No, I have not seen any, but it doesn't mean that there is none, because I can guarantee that if we were to go through the World Bank website, we'll be able to see some graph that will show you category by category and match up the two countries. But I think this would be an interesting study that a university could take on.
Yes, it would be a very, in terms of a comparative analysis of the countries, because 1965 Singapore, 1962 Jamaica independence, and then look at Singapore when they got independence, how a broken ethnic nation they were.
They were worse off than Jamaica.
Worse off than Jamaica. Yes.
They didn't have the skills.
We got a head start. We had institutions. We had some literacy, although largely illiterate population. And look at them today. Leadership chops. Leadership.
leadership matters. Leadership matters, and that's all I'm pointing to.
Yeah, I have always argued, Chops, that one of the worst decisions that this country has ever made is to have voted out Eddie Siaga in 1989. I think that election was is almost like the death knell for Jamaica.
If you look at what Melissa has done to Jamaica in terms of loss, in terms of GDP.
Yeah.
Look at the period between 1989 and 2007.
Yeah.
And look at the economic crisis of the 1990s.
Yeah.
Caused fintech.
Yeah, and you agree with me that had Siaga won a third term, Jamaica would have been a different place today.
Singapore would never be ahead of us. We would either be as good as Singapore or better.
Wow.
And I have no doubt, because neighbor, the evidence is on my side,
Yeah.
And I challenge anybody to go and look it up. We should have been ahead of Singapore.
Yeah.
Think about
what does it say about our people, though, Chop? What did we get wrong in 1989? I know you have spoken about the outside influence. But what we got so wrong that Jamaica returned the PNP?
We had a few things wrong, neighbor. We had a few things wrong, and that's why I stay so much away from conflicts within our own political organization. Because once there's division among us, we are guaranteed to lose.
Going to lose.
The Jamaica Labour Party lost the leadership.
In 1989, I'm talking now. That election.
Yes.
You are saying that there were division in the party?
And that's what I'm getting to. I'm telling you that we lost from 1983. We lost 89, not in 89. We lost 89 from 1983.
You lost the parish councils.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and you also have to recognize that there are some internal things that took place then.
Yes.
Some of it is uncomfortable to talk about.
Right, let it stay.
But because there are division within the halls of the JLP back then, it cost us 1989. It was Eddie Siaga almost by himself who ran this country from 1983 until 89,
You mean the ministries?
Yes.
That's what I understand, that although they were ministers.
I'm not talking about with ministers, because there was so much division that he had to take things on by himself.
What you saying to me?
You see, these are some of the things that I don't want to get into because they are not comfortable.
Oh.
Not every laborite pallet can take these things,
But I don't. But I think they have to think about it.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
1989, 1993, 1997. These are election years I'm telling you about. Election years that the PNP won. Consecutive elections. Did the PNP win those elections simply because they were good stewards of the country's economy?
That is another discussion, Chuck, because it is the mystery of many people. How on God's earth could a party full of corruption and scandals keep winning elections?
Exactly.
And the economy was in decline.
Exactly.
There was murder, poverty,
Exactly.
and the party kept winning.
Yes.
I mean, look at Holness's performance in the last election, and look at how competitive the election was.
Exactly.
Because the PNP was united, sir.
Thank you very much. Now, think of a period under Eddie Siaga's opposition leader. Save and except for 1979 to 1980 when he won the election. Point me to another period while Eddie Siaga was opposition leader where the political movement, the JLP, was fully united behind it. If you take out 1989 out of it, there has not been a single period that the party was united behind Edward Philip George Siaga. He had to deal with the internal fight day in, day out. And at one point, 9 10 men wrote to the party's general secretary at the time was Bruce Golding, asking for Eddie Seaga to step down. And when the reasons for him to step down was asked, they said that he was unattractive and was not able, he wasn't able to attract the level of investment that the party need to take them into the next election.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, that the bank accounts of the party showed that during that spoke up, the party was fully funded for the very first time for not just 1 year but 2 years, fully funded. In other words, they were accusing him of being unable to attract investment into the party, but at the same time he had the highest amount of money sitting there to run an election.
But then what you're saying,
fight.
Yeah, what you are saying there to me then, Chops, is that the party would have to take some of the blame for Jamaica's underdevelopment.
90% of it. And that's why sometimes when I talk,
oh my God,
some of our own Labour Party person, yes, we.
So the Jamaica Labour Party would not have lost those elections if they would only come together.
That's all they needed to do.
The PNP
could not win an election because the PNP could not perform. The PNP was not able to perform. They had the economy in a shambles. The country was just bankrupt under their leadership. How on God's earth did they win? They won those elections because the JLP was never united in support of NCR.
And that is why now that the political thing has changed and the Jamaica Labour Party is now united, they are unbeatable.
And that is why I am upset sometimes when I hear our own people opening their mouth, trying to create division among us. I don't subscribe to it.
Because you know the danger it has caused in the past and how it has hurt the party.
I lived it.
Oh my God.
I lived it. Listen, when a PNP opposes the position of the JLP government, I can understand. But when a JLP decides to go ballistic, decides to go nuclear, decides to go rogue and become a problem among your fellow men, when you start to sow discord among your own, it is one of the most destructive things that could ever happen to the party. That's why I stay away from it. David.
Oh, I understand.
Because, look here, not everything that the JLP does is perfect.
Yes.
But I will say this to you, that the worst of the JLP is 100% better than the best of the PNP.
The Jamaica Labour Party is a better party.
Absolute, without a shadow
and they are better managers of the country, and they care more about Jamaica.
They care more about. Listen, the history is there. Nobody have to believe me. When I speak, I want people to go and research and say, look, let me listen what Chops has said this. Let me go and find out if what he's saying is true. Right? Why did the jail do the study? Why did the PNP win those elections in the 1990s? They won because they had a broken system, a broken electoral system that they could manipulate. They did not focus on running the country. They focused on winning elections. And that is why the country's resources were spent among a few men. That's why the initiatives that they piloted, the initiatives that they implement were all geared around individuals. Yeah. Look at their crime plan. Their crime plan was hinged on an initiative called what's it called? Where you pay dons to put down their guns. You remember that?
Oh, yes.
The person who chaired that organization was a gentleman, I forget his name now. I work with him in Kingston. What's the name of the organization there, chat? The folks in the chat know. It is called, where they pay the dons.
JCSP.
Say that again?
I think just security, justice and peace, something to the effect.
No, not that one at all.
Oh,
okay. You know
yeah.
Initiative.
PMI, right? PMI.
Peace Management Initiative.
Right.
That's their answer to fighting crime. And you know the intricacies of it were to pay the dons to put their guns down. And if, when the money done, them take over the gun. And you pay them again, then put it down. Listen, I watch these people wreck this country. Watch, I live it, neighbor. That's why when I speak, I say, I don't want anybody come to tell me about any argument or any issues to divide us. Because the minute we are divided, it's the end of it. Eddie Siaga couldn't keep a meeting at Belmont Road. And before he said the second sentence, it reaches the newspaper.
The leaks.
You hear me? He couldn't hold a meeting before he said the second paragraph. It reached
It reached the RJR. There were people at Belmont Road that were recording it live.
Yes, but can I tell you something? There was no PNP in that meeting.
Live from Belmont Road, and you hear it live on radio.
Exactly.
It was like a sieve.
We were our own enemies.
My God.
And God help us, we have passed that.
Yeah, that is why, chaps, I have to run. But I tell you something. Had the Labour Party lost the 2025 election, they would be weeping and moaning and gnashing of teeth.
You couldn't have said it any better.
Labour rights would have been devastated.
We would have made one giant step back for men.
Yeah.
You know that saying, one giant leap for men?
Yes. Yeah.
It would have been a giant step back again.
Yeah.
For men.
And I'm telling you this, I know the comrades are not going to like to hear it, but I think Labour rights have doubled down and feel that they need to hold on to this country for a long, long time.
We need it. The Jamaica need the Labour Party, neighbor. Look at where we are today. Neighbor, look at where we are today. Look at the country's economy. Look at crime. Yeah. What we need to do now is to fix this education system, is to depoliticize the associations that have been being an albatross around this country's neck, which is the Teachers Association. We need to bust that thing open.
Yeah.
Bust it up.
There's work to be done.
Thank you.
But it's nice talking to you, chaps.
Always.
What a fascinating discussion that is, eh? What a fascinating discussion. And he's right, He's right. Some of the things that he's saying there, I don't even say them, but I know them. I know when those meetings were like, my God, it was a shocking thing. And I know a lot of you listening to me are Labour rights. It's very, very important. Marlon Morgan said something on the program on Saturday night that the Labour Party needs help. The Labour Party needs help to get its message out. To help the party to get its message out. If you believe in the Jamaica Labour Party, and you believe in your Prime Minister, and you believe in the mandate of the party, you should be a proper Labour right. Proper Labour right. Support initiatives that helps the party. And guess what? This is not about the party, It's about your country. Your country. Do it for your country. I'm out of time, but I need to give Honeybee a little time. Honeybee, good evening to you.
Hello, pleasant evening, neighbor.
Yes. You only have a few minutes. How are you?
Yes, neighbor. I understand what Chops was saying. I was just talking to my son, and my son was saying absolutely what he said is the truth. I just want to say, neighbor, with Mark Golding today, with Mark Golding, honestly, I don't expect anything better. I don't expect much, to be honest. I expected that and even worse from him. He has never said anything that I even wanted.
I'm sorry. Hold on there for me. Let me just ask my friends here, please. I can't drink any more of the orange juice. They want me to drink green juice. Can you give me some green juice? Give me like June plum or cucumber juice, please. June plum or cucumber. No orange juice. Thank you. Can I get some June plum? Thank you.
Oh my Lord. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What Chop said about the JTA president, I think he should understand when you live in a glass house, you don't throw stones.
Yes.
So for me, I don't understand at some things they say, neighbor. I honestly don't understand if they really think about it. I think because their mouth can open, they don't speak. And another thing, this is for me, and I say to people that if you say you support the Jamaica Labour Party, you support the government, we have to stand behind our Prime Minister. We have to stand firm, and we can't make the simplest of breeze just turn we over. We have to be firm, plant with foot, and stand up and understand that we have to support the growth of Jamaica. We have to choose Jamaica, because I tell everybody the only reason why I vote is because of Dr. Andrew Holness. Honestly, that's the only reason why I vote. For the last 3 elections, I bought into his vision and I voted because I saw that he was a leader, and he has proven himself to me over and over for the last 2 terms that he got, and I still believe that he has more to do, and I will always, as long as he continue the discipline that he has, because honestly, the Prime Minister is very disciplined, because some things that he has been through the last term, especially from the Integrity Commission, I don't know if I could be as calm as he was. So for that, I must say congratulations to the Prime Minister for having a level head, doing what is necessary, and don't listen to the noise, and just continue to do his job. And I'm here, and a lot of Jamaicans are here to support you, and we believe in you.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you so much.
Yes, neighbor.
Fantastic. Well, let's jump over to YouTube, and we're going to find Joshua, and we're going to ask him to use 2 minutes to wrap up, and then we're going to come back to tell you good night, because we are 4 minutes after 10 o'clock. Good evening to you again, Joshua.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening again to the listeners. I've listened to both Chops as well as yourself, and I heard an irony being mentioned about the JTA's position on school board. One of the PNP's most vociferous and belligerent bloggers on TikTok here sits on a school board. And he speaks of it very often. And the PNP has no issue with it. And the same gentleman that Chop spoke of was a candidate for the PNP. So I don't know how the PNP can feel comfortable, or even Mr. Malabre can feel comfortable within himself to make such a pronouncement when he would have to first excuse himself from, from that office, from the JTA's office, if he wants to be credible. Now, having said that, I support Chops wholeheartedly that we do have differences in any family, any team, but our differences should not be destructive differences, or rather it should not be dealt with in a destructive way. We can speak, we can express the way we feel, but at the end of the day, those criticisms should be for the greater good and not for show. And we should always pull back together. The PNP means Jamaica no good. I hear you mention that those who mean Jamaica good, really and truly, they should be laborites. I say to all of those who mean Jamaica good, that I vote for the Jamaica Labour Party is a vote for Jamaica. It's not for a party per se. The party is just a vehicle. So whether you are politically committed or you're politically uncommitted, once you're committed to Jamaica and the advancement of Jamaica, you have to consider the Jamaica Labour Party. The track record has proven time and time again that the Jamaica Labour Party is the best vehicle to move us forward. do not listen to the propagandas of the PNP. Go and do your research, as Chops had requested that you do. And the research will always come back in favor of the Jamaica Labour Party advancing the well-being of Jamaica, the growth and development. The removal of the Bastardy Act was first posited by Alexander Bustamante in the 50s, taken to the United Nations by then Senator Hugh Lawson Shearer. Equal pay for women, same thing, right? And even the so-called JAMAL, which was adult literacy program, first started in the 60s under the JLP.
Yes.
It was a name change in the 70s that gave Michael Manley credit for something that he knew nothing about.
Yes.
And many other programs that he has been credited with. Eat What You Grow started in the 60s under Bustamante, when the land lease programs and all of those things. So the Jamaica Labour Party has always considered the advancement and the greater good of the nation and the poorer class. So much so that the PNP labeled the Jamaica Labour Party supporters as dirty labor rights. Why? Because they came from the grassroots. There were not people who were considered noble. There were regular cane farmers, regular port workers, regular bauxite workers. In fact, one of the candidates in the very first election for the JLP was a sideman on a truck. His name was Isaac Barant. You can go and look that up for yourself. Isaac Barant. And we have a postal worker who was one of the first candidates for the JLP also. The PNP, on the other hand, out of 32 candidates, could only provide 17 because their focus was lawyers, doctors, teachers, businessmen.
Yes.
What it says is that we are two different parties. One is concerned about the regular everyday man and how we can make their lives better. The other one is concerned about maintaining the status quo. If you want to advance your life and be better, and if you want to see your children's lives advance, consider coming on board for the greater good of your children and for the advancement of Jamaica by supporting the Jamaica Labour Party, not because you love politics, but because you love Jamaica. And God bless you and good night to everyone.
Well, good night to you too, Joshua. Take good care of yourself and have a good night. Listeners,
thank you.
That's going to be it for us on this beautiful Monday. We are going to be here tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock for the Good Morning Show with Caroline. You can't afford to miss that. My friends on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for locking down with us. And we'll catch you some other time. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share the channel. Tell your friends about it. Let's get the subscription up and go to the merchandise store and see what you like over there and support that. The Zelle account is going across your screen. We appreciate and accept your contribution to the Politics Plus network. Your help keeps us going and keeps us on the air every day. Shefreen, take care of yourself, and let me